So UFC Edmonton just went down. Not my proudest night of predictions. I went like 2-4 in the main card. Moreno was the obvious pick. I don't know why I did not pick him to win. I should have, but it is what it is. But I mean, he looked amazing. I mean, he looked great in this fight against Albazi. Just absolutely schooled Amir Albazi, which I should have seen coming. I think the reason why I went with Albazi to win is because I just didn't trust Moreno's defensive wrestling because Pantoja took him down as many times as he did. And I know Pantoja has like good wrestling, but I saw Albazi as like a better wrestler than Pantoja. Pantoja's more of a jiu-jitsu guy who gets takedowns, don't get me wrong, but I thought Albazi would be better in that department. I thought if Pantoja could get that many takedowns, like 6 takedowns, I thought even though Moreno's a better striker, Albazi is a better wrestler, should use that to his advantage. I still knew Moreno's striking would be problematic, but I did think that Albazi was at least going to try to wrestle a bit more, try to get some cage control, try to Marab him, but I guess that's not really Albazi's style. And I mean, he didn't even win his last fight against Kai Kara France. I picked Kai to win that fight. Kai got robbed, like blatantly. The judges should be ashamed of themselves for that fight. And Moreno has shown good takedown defense outside of the Pantoja fight, so it should have been obvious that, Moreno was going to easily defend takedowns and, pick apart Albazi, but also the difference between Albazi and Pantoja is Albazi's not as tough as Pantoja, not as pressuring as Pantoja, not as powerful as Pantoja. And yeah, he just, again, doesn't have the same level of pressure or wrestling, it appears, and doesn't spam enough takedowns. Like, Pantoja would get takedowns defended from Moreno, but he would keep going and then he would chain wrestle. He would go to the back to seal some of those rounds for himself. And Albazi didn't do that. I did not expect Albazi to try and be a kickboxer in this fight. He shot a few takedowns and then he just gave up. I felt there were like a few moments where Brandon Moreno could have like easily finished the fight, but didn't really properly put his foot on the gas. I felt he could have easily got a finish in the fifth, but whatever. Dominant performance by Moreno. He came back looking rejuvenated, refreshed. I feel like maybe one fight coming off the war with Pantoja, I guess maybe took a bit out of him, and maybe that's why he looks so bad against Royval. But also, Royval is better than Alfradzi, who robbed Kai Kara France. So good win for Moreno. As far as what's next for him, I mean, do you give him a title shot? I mean, he's 0-3 to Pantoja. He's 1-1 with Royval. Honestly, why not just run the trilogy with Royval? They're 1-1. Both of them are like behind in their rivalries with Pantoja. Both of them 0-2 to Pantoja, 0-3 to Pantoja. So as long as Pantoja's champ, these two might as well fight each other to decide who gets to fight Pantoja again. And then maybe in the meantime, Kai Kara France could just get the winner of Asakura versus Pantoja, and then the winner of Royval Moreno gets the winner of that. Since Kai is coming off, even though he bounced back from a loss, the loss prior to the knockout over Urseg was a robbery against Albazi, so he might get a bit of robbery privilege. Plus, he had a big KO in his last fight, so you could argue Kai gets the next shot. Just make a Moreno Royval trilogy, and we'll see what happens from there. We had a terrible night of picks, terrible main event pick on my part. And oh my gosh, the co-main event. I don't even want to talk about the other fights. Like, the only ones I got right was Mike Malott and Trevin Giles. And I was dead wrong about Stoltzfus versus Barriot. And I was wrong about Lipski, Jasdavicius. But it's really hard to predict Lipski fights, to be honest. Like, one moment she looks really good in the grappling and she looks like a killer on the feet. And then other fights, she just can't grapple to save her life and has bad cardio and just gets destroyed. So, and she got finished on the ground by Montana De La Rosa. So it should have been obvious to me that Jasdavicius would do what she did to her. Kyle Machado got robbed, but I picked Brenson Ribeiro, so I don't really care. But now let's get into the co-main event because the rest of this card was ass. No one cares. Everyone only cares about the co-main and main event. So let's talk about the co-main. Another fight where I'm kicking myself for making the wrong prediction, but I did pick Rose because she looked really good in her last two. Well, she didn't really look good against Rebus, but she looked good against Cortez, but that's because Tracy is a can. Now, I knew that this would be a tougher fight than the Cortez fight. But I still should have went with Erin based off the fact that she's got the cardio and the pressure. I was just worried that we would see Erin not pressure enough, not wrestle enough. Whereas in the first two rounds, she wasn't pressuring Rose, she was backing up. She shot like one takedown in the second round, had cage control, then Rose like judo through her against the cage, got like one takedown, so Rose was up two going into the third. But I just was worried that Erin was gonna be on autopilot like she was against Manon and just let Rose dance around her, outstrike her. And I knew Rose would defend a good majority of takedowns, but I thought Rose could at least keep it at her comfortable pace and win a relatively close decision. I did say there would be like one swing round in there, which I thought would be the third, but round three was like Rose's or Erin's clearest round. Round four, I felt could have been a swing round, but if you really think about it, it wasn't. Because even though Rose could have landed the better shots or the cleaner shots, Erin had more volume, more pressure. She had the control time as well, so you got to give round four to Erin. In round three, when Rose shot for a takedown under pressure, I knew she was done. Like I could see she was breaking. She did not like that Erin was willingly walking her down, waiting forward into the pocket. Even though Erin was behind on a technical level, she didn't let that discourage her. Like she's like the female Juliana Pena, tough, not the prettiest striking, maybe not even the greatest wrestling, but she's got the cardio and she's willing to bite down on the mouthpiece and just press forward no matter how technical you are. And it usually does work to their advantage, and it worked to Erin's advantage. And Rose just cannot handle pressure. And I should have seen this coming. And round five, Erin just melted Rose, melted her badly, just came out swinging like crazy. Like she showed in that fifth round. She wanted it more than Rose Namajunas. Clearly, she wanted it more. Rose was just looking for a way out, hoping that the fight would be done. I was a little bit worried for Erin because I did think there was a chance Rose could have maybe won the fourth round, but she didn't. And I know I said I was rooting for Rose, but I'm kind of happy that Blanchfield won this fight, honestly, because I was high on Blanchfield in her rise, and I felt bad for her when she, lost to Manon, so I didn't want to see her lose two fights in a row, so I'm glad she did it. But yeah, clear win for Erin, I believe. She did what she should have done to win. She fought Rose exactly how you need to fight her. You have to pressure her, and you have to be tough, and you have to have a really good wrestling game as well to where Rose cannot just take you down. Because we see in some fights, Rose can just take you down to stifle your pressure and just hold you down, like she did to Cortez, like she did to Joanna even, or Zhang Wei Li, or Amanda Rebus. She can't do that to Erin Blanchfield because Erin has solid takedown defense stemming from her wrestling base. But yeah, I should have just went with Erin Blanchfield. But I mean, what's next for Erin? She called out Alexa Grasso. I honestly think that's the fight to make, unfortunately, even though I think Grasso would lose that fight because she can't wrestle. Even though Grasso has better cardio than Rose, she's tougher than Rose, more heart than Rose. She doesn't care if you pressure. Like honestly, Grasso wants to be pressured because you're playing into her game. It allows her to land the shot she needs to land. Grasso struggles when you play the range game and keep your distance. Erin's gonna come to her, but the problem is, even though Grasso doesn't fold under pressure like Rose, Grasso cannot defend takedowns. So Erin would probably wrestle her to a decision. I don't think Erin would finish Grasso, seeing as she couldn't finish Rose. And she finished Jessica, but it was like short notice. I mean, this was a good win, but I mean, if you really think about it, like stylistically, she always had the advantage against Rose, especially over 5 rounds. This fight was kind of like the second Jessica fight. Rose looks good early and then kind of fades in the third. And we saw if Jessica would have had more time, she would have won the rematch. Erin had more time and she won this fight, but I wasn't entire. I mean, I was impressed by Erin's toughness and her pressure, her willingness to just bite down on the mouthpiece, press forward, spam as many takedowns as possible. But this is not the kind of performance I want to see. If I want to talk about her chances against the champ Valentina, like I don't think she beats Shevchenko. If Manon becomes the champion, Manon Fiorot's going to beat her again because she'll just stuff the takedowns of Erin. She's not going to gas out like Rose. She's more scrappy than Rose. She can handle that pressure. She can comfortably go 5 rounds. So it would be a similar fight. Valentina, again, good cardio, doesn't gas under pressure. She's a sharper striker than Rose. She's a better counter striker than Rose. Better off her back foot than Rose. If Erin walks her down and starts brawling, Val is going to time those counters and have a field day with Erin and just piece her up on the feet. And Erin just doesn't shoot enough takedowns. And I mean, Rose was able to take her down. I imagine Shevchenko would take her down, but probably more than once. Erin would probably like get around against Val, maybe based off one takedown. It might be like the Jennifer Maia fight, where Jennifer got like one takedown, but ultimately got pieced up throughout the fight. So, do I think Erin's a future champion? If Grasso Shevchenko 2 wasn't a draw and they just gave it to Grasso and Grasso doesn't get injured after and she can come back in the spring this year, Erin gets a title shot and probably would have been champ off Alexa. But now that Alexa's out of the title picture, Valentina is the champ again, and Manon is going to be fighting for the belt. I believe those two are like her worst matchups. I feel like styles to beat Erin are really good strikers like Rose, but with cardio, with physicality, and takedown defense. And I believe that's what both Manon and Fiorot and Val have. Rose, honestly, I mean, I know she's going to stick to flyweight or just retire, but I think Rose should probably go back to strawweight, honestly. I just don't think flyweight's the right weight class for her. I mean, the most success she had against flyweight or in the flyweight division were just against a bunch of cans like Cortez on short notice, Amanda Rebus, but against the elite of the elites like Erin and Manon, she's struggling, and I don't think she'd beat Val. And yeah, I mean Grasso, she might be able to beat Alexa because Alexa's not as pressuring, doesn't have great takedown defense. Probably like the most winnable fight for out of the top 5. Natalia Silva might beat her too. Rose at strawweight, I believe, could still be a hard fight for Wei Li, and I still believe she would beat everyone else at strawweight because no one else pressures as much at strawweight other than Jessica. Nobody really has that size on Rose, and I feel like Rose, on a skill level, is better than most of the strawweights. But yeah, if she wants to be champ again, flyweight ain't it. But you know, it is what it is. Good win for Erin. And yeah, I guess the Grosso fight makes sense. Bad picks on my part. Hopefully I do better on the next card. I'm expecting Prates to win, but Magny hasn't lost 2 in a row since 2013, so I don't know. And I'm going to go with John Jones, so we'll see how my month of November goes for predictions in terms of full cards and main events. With that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Like and subscribe, turn the notification bell, and thank you for watching.